This garden right here, it's not a great garden, but it's got some good garden plants. This rosemary is about 5 years old. It looks bad because it's been around 40,000 miles. It'll take 10 degrees, I know. It'll take 105 degrees, I know, and it'll take 70 miles an hour. Okay? I found out that tomatoes don't do well because they drop their flowers, but peppers do fine. Basil does very well. So if you want to talk about tough plants, I can do it. I can also talk about plants that aren't so tough, like this one. I committed herbicide. Okay? The courtelane, which is a terrific plant, it will take the heat, it will take the wind, but it won't take being baked in the back of a truck in Mississippi. So it just collapsed. So I'm learning. It's a learning curve, okay? So horticulture, I can tell you, this is not a good one for a truck garden. But I can tell you that a lot of these succulents will. Notice where the wind comes across the back of my truck, there's no wind up against the cab. When it comes out a little bit further, my, what do you call this stuff? Scaevola fan flower, y'all know the plant? The further it gets out, I can see where the wind is because it blows all the flowers off. I grow a knockout rose up against the back of the cab, and I have to prune it a lot because it gets too big. It blooms, but the petals blow off. So I have to prune it low. See, so I'm doing the horticulture thing, but I'm mostly doing it to show that anybody can garden anytime, anywhere. Now, what about wintertime? Y'all get what? 0 degrees here in the wintertime?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we have Camellia japonica in full bloom. We have paper whites, Narcissus tazetta, just to let you know I can do that. Narcissus tazetta, Camellia japonica, and the berries of Nandina domestica in the middle of January. We have color, we have fragrance, we have texture, okay? Our downtime is right now when it's so hot you can't move, okay? But in the wintertime, what do you do for gardening entertainment? What do you do? Travel. Calm down. Well, I interviewed a fellow from here in Cornell who found out that you can grow paper white, Narcissus, in gravel and water. Who's ever forced daffodils to bloom? In the middle of the winter. All it needs is gravel and water. Well, I didn't have gravel, but I had some Mardi Gras beads. You can grow paper white Narcissus in a bowl of Mardi Gras beads, but they get about 1.5 feet tall, they flop over. Y'all know what I'm about to talk about? This guy at Cornell found out if you throw a little gin in with them or some vodka, they bloom at 6 or 8 inches instead of 1.5 feet tall. And I'm thinking, these guys are just trying to find a way to get through the winter. But back home, I can't talk about that. You know, I'm a part of the country that's very conservative, so we have to talk about rubbing alcohol, you know, if you got it. But the fact that you can grow paper whites indoors in the middle of the winter, no matter how bad the weather is, no matter how blue you get in the wintertime, I think it's something that's precious. And those are the kind of things I try to show. The simplicity of doing easy things for the fun of it, not for the challenge of it. Now, I want to mention one last thing. And by the way, I've got have any of y'all been to my website by any chance? Okay, it is totally non-profit. There are no links. There are no sponsors. I do it just for the fun of it. Got a picture of me juggling bulbs on the front. Okay. I have a link that I put on it about slow gardening. Okay, slow gardening. Now, we're not slow because we're stupid. We're slow because where I live, we have all year to do it. If you do things too, I mean, we plant tomatoes in late March. And I'm going to plant some more tomatoes. When I get home, the first week in August, I'm going to plant more tomatoes and more peppers and get a harvest off of them before our first frost. We got all year to do it. And if you hurry things up in the South, first of all, you run out of stuff to do. Second of all, you get hot and that makes people around you mad. See, so we just take our time. Who's heard of slow food? Okay, similar thing. Slow food is local stuff, growing things locally. You make good bread, you got great lettuce, you have some nice radish, you make good wine. Let's enjoy the things that we did locally. Let's get together once a month and have convivia. Okay, we call it potluck back home. Okay, everybody brings something. Well, slow gardening is the same way, doing things because it's good for you. checking your own rain gauge rather than being addicted to the weather channel, making your own compost. It's not that hard. All you got to do is find a place to pile stuff up. Rooting plants. This is a gardenia. You can't grow gardenias here, but this is a cutting that I made about a month and a half ago. I root gardenias, which is our version of lilac. Okay, blooms all summer, roots in water, and I root these and give them away all the time. I root old roses, the kind that bloom with no care at all. We have roses that are so tough that they grow in cemeteries. Y'all got them too. You know, some of the Northern Light series, the buck roses, things like that. We have roses that will grow on their own root, no water, no sprays, no nothing. To prove a point, I got master gardeners to help me plant them in a cemetery, in between tombstones, so the mowers won't get them. And we've proven that there are over 40 roses that will bloom from spring until frost with no care at all. These roses are so tough that dead people can grow them. Okay? So when people say, I can't grow roses because you're growing the wrong rose. How does knockout do for y'all up here? Good. Okay? It's not an heirloom rose, but 150 years ago they introduced roses that were miserable then and they're miserable now. But we've got good roses that grow well without a whole bunch of care. And these are the ones I'm trying to get people started with. It's like hostas. If you don't have hostas, it's because you don't have any friends. Plain and simple. If you can crack your knuckles, you can propagate a hosta. Okay? So I'm just saying, start people off with things like that, what I call comfort food plant. Grow first what grows well. Then work your way up to the frustrating challenges. Other thing about slow gardening is having a hobby. It might be hybridizing daylilies. It might be bonsai. Maybe you have a beehive, which is a cool little hobby. Maybe it's garden photography. But developing things. If you have a lawn, take good care of it. Attention to detail, pride in workmanship. Those aren't lazy. But if you can have a lawn, if you don't want to take care of the whole lawn, how many of y'all were in the meeting this morning where he showed different ways you can treat grass? You can have an area in your landscape that's just mowed every couple of times, have a small area like a throw rug, like a putting green. But having some lawn that really looks good, that focuses you, that gets you involved, these are good things to do.